Hi, metalworking students. You're going to need a couple things today to finish off your dog tag project. So you'll want to find the envelope that has all of the little findings in it. You'll need both of your sets of pliers. You'll need a pair of scissors. You'll need your cord, which is going to be too long. We'll cut it down, the finished dog tag, and then inside your findings, you'll find a whole bunch of different ones of these. So pick the color you want, kind of the combination. You'll need at least 4 jump rings, which are the circles, and those are kind of the smaller ones, not the colorful ones, which were in a different bag. Then you'll need 2 of these. They're called cord ends, and you can see they look like an open C or a U shape with a little circle on the top. And then one of these, which is called a lobster clasp. So you'll want to gather all of those items, put them out, make sure you have them in a space that if they fall on the floor, you can find them easily because these are really small. So the first thing that you want to do is make sure that your dog tag is finished. You've sanded it, you've polished it, you've used all 4 of your sandpapers and your polishing pads. Then you'll want to determine how long do you want your actual cord to be. So I just wrap it around my neck and figure out how long I want it to be, and then I cut it. And you'll have extra definitely for another project. So now I have my cord right here. I'm just going to lay that aside for a second, and I'm just going to show you what the finished product is going to look like. So this is my jump ring attached right there. See that little jump ring attached to the dog tag? Then I have the cord, and on the ends are several different findings. You can see the lobster clasp, you can see the jump rings, and you can see those little U-shaped things that have been pinched around the cord. So that's the part that I'm going to show you today. That's kind of the trickiest part of all this, but once you get that, it's pretty easy. Metalworkers, we are going to now wrap the cord inside of this little cord end. So what I need to do is I need to take that U shape, and I'm going to basically place the cord inside of that, and then doing my best to kind of pinch it around using the pliers, and do your best to kind of get those ends of the metal to meet so that it's nice and tight. Try not to crush the circle, which we need in just a little bit to attach to a jump ring. So I'm just going to kind of pinch this around all the way. And then depending on what kind of pliers you have, maybe some work better. I gave everybody a round nose set of pliers, which are good for kind of detail work, as I kind of wrap the cord and around the cord. So it's kind of wrapped all the way around it. I hope you guys can see that. So I'm going to go ahead and do the second one as well. And then I will just add the jump rings. So I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to pinch again as much as I can, and then I'm going to use kind of my detail pliers here and pinch as well as I can all the way around and kind of make sure that it's not going to slide off. So I've got both of my cord ends on my cord. Now, jump rings. This is the trick to jump rings. We're going to be doing a chainmail project in a little while, but the jump rings themselves have a little opening. So you do need both sets of pliers. So I'm going to use both sets with my left and my right hand. I'm going to pull my left hand away and my right hand forward. I'm a righty, so that's more natural for me. Now the jump ring is actually open, so you can see that it doesn't form a perfect circle. Then just holding with one set of pliers, I'm going to slide the jump ring inside of the hole of the cord end, take my other set of pliers. Don't try to do this with your hands. Your hands aren't going to be small enough to get it to line up perfectly. Now my jump ring is perfectly placed on that cord end. I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. So I'm going to take both pliers, pull one away and one forward so it kind of opens them up. You'll get really good at this when you're doing your chainmail project. And then you'll slide it inside that little circle, take those pliers again, just so that the circle is maintained also. If you try to do it with your hands, you tend to make it more like an oval, and it's not a perfect circle. So I sometimes kind of pinch right where those meet, so I get a perfect joining. So I now have 2 jump rings on either end of my cord. Okay, now we're going to connect 2 jump rings to then connect to the cord itself. So the first thing that we want to do is take the jump ring that we've opened and slide it onto the cord, and then just close that jump ring. Okay, it's just going to be a holder that we're going to connect the other one to. So I'm going to go ahead and close that right there. So it's now closed, and just make sure that there's absolutely no gap there. So if you have to kind of pinch a little bit with your pliers to make sure that that gap is fairly closed. Now you're going to place this jump ring on the dog tag and on that other jump ring. And that's a little bit tricky because you're going to kind of balance 2 things at once. So I'm going to open up this jump ring. Then I'm going to actually attach it to this one here, and this doesn't matter if it's in the center or not. At some point it'll hang in the center. So I'll attach it to that. So that's kind of suspended from it. And then I have to slide the dog tag on as well. So notice I'm using my pliers as kind of a holding device, and I have to kind of wiggle it around and then also kind of let it be suspended. So now I'm going to grab with the other set of pliers and kind of tighten. And then same thing we just did, make sure that those two little positions of the end of the jump ring kind of line up. So it's suspended from the actual two jump rings. The final step will be to take this little lobster clasp, and you'll just reopen one of your jump rings up very small amount and slide that lobster clasp on, and that will be how you clasp it around your neck or your wrist or however you want to wear it. And then just close that and you are done. So when you take your photograph, I'd like you to make sure that I can see all the parts that you have connected. So you have your jump rings connected to the dog tag, you have the cord ends, your lobster clasp, and all of your jump rings on the ends as well. So you'll take a photograph like that, plus you'll do a front and back of the dog tag. So you'll take 3 photographs total. All right, good luck. Let me know if you have any questions.